because it's first time to hear or to listen about it, most likely it would not be recalled in the brain. Secondly, yung physiological factors like stress kayo or kahapon, some don't have microphones, some don't have very let's say internet connection is not so stable, which naturally could affect. So now how can we apply this in teaching? So to those of us doing surprise quiz, please don't expect na they can get 100% because again, according to Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, we can only recall 32% of what was discussed yesterday. So again, now let's apply. So review. Can you please name one app or ICT tools that was shared by your classmates yesterday? Okay, can you please go to the chat box and tell me or tell everybody what specific ICT tool? Okay, sabi ni Dante, ChatGPT. Diane said, hello Diane, Canva. May mo pa bang mga ibang examples? So we have Canva, according to Manuel Imani. Yeah, ZipGrade. Okay, ZipGrade, ChatGPT, and WeTransfer. So, Lorena, good morning, Lorena. Is it possible, can I call you po? And can you please tell them, when do you use ZipGrade in your class?
Actually, I just learned it yesterday. Good morning po.
Okay, good morning.
Sorry. I found it from one of our colleague in our group. So I found out that she's using the zip grade, which is more easier for her when she has tag dito, assess quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said it's also real time when they submit the quizzes, something like that.
Mm-hmm. So para siyang I use ZipGrid always. Tsaka
Mhm.
kasi mura lang siya. I mean, hindi siya libre pero parang nasa 400 lang yata. Nasa 400 to 500 pesos lang po siya. So it's an app. It's in your cell phone. So for example, let's say, pero it's good for multiple choice test. So for example, you have like a 15 item multiple choice test. So you can have gagawa ka ng questionnaire and then for the questions you have A, B, C, D. So para siyang standardized test. The students would
Mhm.
have the yung mga circles, parang magti-take sila ng UPCAT or any standardized test. Tapos, scan na lang ng zip grade mo and then it will
Yeah.
score. Tsaka, aside from the score, it will tell you the difficulty index. It will also tell you na o anong average ng klase. So, we are trying to do it. Can you please, can I have a thumbs up? Who among you here have zip grade now? Okay, zip grade. It will be a part of our exercise later. Kaya lang, Ma'am Lorena, good morning po.
Yes po.
Have you downloaded it for free? Meron bang free account or bayad na?
Uh, According to Miss Charlene, I think is one of the colleague that we have in the group. She said it's available website and in the app.
In the app. Charlene, hello
Yes.
Charlene, di ba may bayad na agad? Kasi I'm using the premium eh. Meron bang free account, Charlene? Ang Zipgrid ngayon?
Meron po, Doc. Meron po, pero ano lang po, limited for 100 scan. And then after po nun, hindi na po pwede.
Okay, sige. So today we shall be sharing the experience of sharing the experience of Charlene at again very helpful Charlene, di ba? Sa case natin, pang periodical test, Charlene.
Yes po, Doc. I also use that po for true or false, then matching type din po.
Wow, okay. So, yeah, kaya andali na ng buhay natin, no? Kasi we don't have to check it manually. Isang scan lang. Kaya lang, dapat, the preparation lang talaga, Charlene, right? You have to prepare the test properly and the multiple choice questions. So, galing. So, that's one example. And there's another one. Hello, Vanessa. Vanessa Villacarlos. Hello, Vanessa. Good morning. Can you please tell your classmates ano po tong Elicit and have you tried using it? How would you compare Elicit to Quillbot and others? Vanessa, hello? Okay, or wala pa si Vanessa. Sige lang. Anyway, and we have Kahoot and Liveboard. Hello, Bibiana. Good morning, Bibiana. Hello,
Yes, good
Bibiana.
morning po, sir.
Hindi ako familiar sa Liveboard. What is Liveboard?
Isa po siyang app sa cellphone, sir, na pwede po siyang gamitin pag turo online na pwedeng doon ka magsusulat or pwede din makapag-create ng bawa yung PowerPoint mo or mga pictures ng lessons na i-upload po dito, and then during discussion pwede kang let's say math po kasi ang hawak ko, sir. Nung
Mhm.
time po ng pandemic, ito po yung nagamit ko nung nagloko po yung laptop ko.
Mhm.
On time po yung pag-solve ng mga examples at nakikita po ng mga bata.
Oh, okay. So, libre po ba 'to?
May free po, sir, kaso limited lang din siya
Mhm.
na mga ilang boards at hindi na makapag-create ng another.
So, para siyang board na how you compare it to an app?
Parang
Parang
lumalabas din na pwede mong i-upload dito yung PowerPoint mo na and then pag pine-present mo sa klase, siya, by slide din po siya. And then pwede kang magsulat doon habang ipaliwanag mo sa mga bata.
Okay, okay. Sige, parang very interesting. Puwede po siya sa ibang courses aside from math?
Yes.
Para ba siyang Jamboard? Sorry, para ba siyang
Example po kasi ay hindi ko pa po na-try, pero parang gano'n na rin po ata 'to.
okay, sige. Thank you. Very interesting to maybe ito na. Wow, may ahente pala dito, Okay. Thank you, Dante. So we have sige. That's one thing that we can learn. Maybe we can in small groups later. We'll discuss about some of these apps that you can learn and you can share. Thank you very much. And we have the last one is Dante, may microphone ka na or wala pa rin? Sige, so we have okay. Okay lang. So, we have the zip grade, we have ChatGPT, WeTransfer. Um, Ma'am Lorena, what's WeTransfer? Can you please tell us more about WeTransfer?
Actually, I also learned that yesterday from Miss Charlene. It's an app where you
Mhm.
can transfer big files uh, when you want sample the video daw. Kasi
Mhm.
usually pag sa G Drive, parang may limited yung pwede mong i-upload or download, something like that. Pero dun sa we transfer, according to Charlene, is you can transfer a big files, not more than 2 gigabytes, I think, if I
Mhm.
remember well.
Mhm. Mhm.
And but she said the downside is kailangan i-download agad kasi parang there's ang tawag doon, a
Time
limited
limit.
time. Yes.
Okay, okay. Wow, sige. So, ang dami, ang dami. I mean, that's one thing I like with the small groups kahapon kasi parang all of you have different experiences and based against the studies, parang the choice of apps always depends on your context. It depends on your preference. Minsan, pag nasanay na tayo sa app na to and we feel na I'm okay with this app. Parang if kaya ng isang app na to, okay lang naman. So again, mas maganda yung may sharing so we can learn from each other. So, thank you. Now, today, para lang po klaro, we need to go back to some definition or framework ng what's a measurement, what's assessment, what's evaluation. Most of the time, people tend to exchange the meanings or the words, ito, minsan assessment, minsan evaluation. Well, my take on this is, now, at least we know, pero maybe sometimes when we talk to people, if these people parang alam natin na wag nang, there's no need to discuss further kung ano to, baka mag-away na lang kayo. So, measurement is when you collect data, percentage, for example, like your measurement is a form of your quiz, it's a form of your test or summative test. Si assessment naman is really focused on the collecting of the data. Now, after you have all the data, then you evaluate, then you judge. So the card grade is the evaluation. Pasado ba o hindi? Retain o hindi? Promoted o hindi? So evaluation na yon. Well, assessment would always include like, let's see, kaya pa ba? Kumusta ka na? And then, parang kailangan pa yan ng tulong na ganito. So you give more formative or summative assessment. So now, si PISA, ang tawag ni PISA, PISA is called as Program for International Student Assessment. So PISA is the company-owned PISA is the OECD. OECD stands for Organization for Economic economic cooperation development. So take note of the spelling S. So OECD is European in context. Now, sabi niya sa website, it's more than 60 years na po sila, and that's what they do. They make assessments and to not really to compare, but just to inform us na this is your curriculum so far. These are the kind of students that are you're having, and maybe you can have some curriculum reform. Si PISA, minsan ginagamit PISA test, pero PISA assessment. So, nakakalito, no? Kasi si PISA assessment, bigger picture. PISA has also a test. So, ito po yung tinitake ng mga students. While as the principal or DepEd would always, may mga questions po si PISA like the number of teachers, how many students are there in the classroom, what kind of curriculum you have. Those are parts of the survey na ginagawa ng PISA assessment. So again, PISA does not only include the test itself, but there are also questions they ask from the principal or from the Department of Education. Okay, so PISA may option ang country if they want to take it computer-based or pen and paper. Most of the time, I mean, so far in the Philippines, this is second time pa lang tayo nag-PISA. Dati, we never joined PISA. Do you know the score of PISA? Diba? Ito yung nakikita natin. So, PISA, this was in 2022. The number one country that has a very high score in math, science, and reading has always been Singapore, followed by Macau, Taiwan, Japan. Take note, no? Parang, have you seen the countries? Out of 81 countries, it's always this Singapore. Parang, what can you say about this? Parang something in common, parang mga Chinese descendant or Chinese related. Singapore, Macau, Taiwan, and we have Japan, Hong Kong, South Korea, Canada. So, bakit kaya? Then, what we did is, okay, I want you to, let's listen to this particular video, and let me tell you if you can hear the audio.
Global assessment of students
May
ranked
audio
the
po ba?
Philippines in the bottom 10 of 81
Maria?
countries.
Okay.
But the Philippine Education Department believes the country's score will improve through its new curriculum. Joyce Balancho reports.
Grade 9 teacher Clarita Cebuala handles 250 students at the Batasan Hills National High School in Quezon City. She says out of this number, only half has mastery of mathematics due to the congested curriculum that the school implements.
Ang dami naming mami, competencies na ituturo. We cannot stick to this competency for longer time. May time budget siya, mami. Budgeted siya for 1 or 2 meetings lang, ganyan. Ay, madaming topic yun.
This is why it did not come as a surprise to teacher Clarita that the Philippines ranked 76 out of 81 countries and economies when it comes to proficiency of students in math in the 2022 Program for International Student Assessment or PISA. In the study, Philippines garnered 355 points, far behind the global average score of 472 pegged by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development or OECD. In science, Philippines placed third from the last of the list with a score of 356, way below the OECD average of 485. While in reading, Philippines scored 347 points from the OECD average of 476, placing itself in the sixth from the bottom of all participating countries and economies. Singapore scored significantly higher than all other countries in mathematics with 575 points, reading with 543 points, and science with 561 points. The study is carried out every 3 years by the OECD to explore how well students can solve complex problems, think critically, and communicate effectively. It also gives insights as to how the country's educational systems prepare students for real-life challenges and future success. This year, 7,193 Filipino students from 188 schools completed the assessment, which involved 2-hour-long tests, each devoted to one subject.
The PISA results lay bare uncomfortable truth. It has shown that a significant majority of our boys and girls fall below the proficiency level required for full participation in society. and contributing to nation building.
DepEd notes the results are almost similar in 2018 when the Philippines first participated in the PISA tests. The study also shows that incidents of bullying and food insecurity among students affect the students' performance, specifically in math. DepEd stresses that it already initiated reforms in the educational system, including the revision of the curriculum for kindergarten to grade 10.
Usually, ang impact niyan ay hindi naman ganon kabilis. Siguro makapantay tayo doon sa ibang Asian countries. Okay? Like yung Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia. I think that's more realistic in the coming years, maybe 2029.
Due to PISA results, Alliance of Concerned Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro recommends that a leader from the education sector take the helm of DepEd. Senate Committee on Basic Education Chair Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, for his part, recommends increasing the budget of the learning recovery programs of DepEd. Gatchalian adds, should Congress fail to
Okay, so I know you heard the story of PISA, and it's sabi nga ni former Deputy Secretary Sara Duterte, parang it's uncomfortable truth. Pero ano ba itong PISA? Ano bang mga components ng PISA? So we have here, of course, Singapore. It's always been on top, but they said para daw, ito yung sabi sa video. Just listen shortly.
15-year-old students here in Singapore have topped a 2022 global study in reading, mathematics, and science. As Singapore leapfrogged China from second place in the three categories based on the previous study. Close to 80 regions took part in that study, coordinated by the OECD, or Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. 6,600 students from secondary and private schools took part in the latest study. This cohort's mean scores went up for mathematics and science compared with 2018. There was a slight dip in reading, although the report says that this is similar to peers elsewhere. It may also reflect the global change in reading habits. The Education Ministry says that Singapore's strong showing affirms the resilience of the system during the pandemic. It also reflects the dedicated efforts of schools and teachers in supporting the learning and well-being of students throughout the period.
I think I need to point out to the importance of students' mental and social emotional well-being because of the effects of social isolation during COVID. So I think that it's also important to remember that schools tried hard to attend to these needs during the pandemic period.
Okay, so in that video about Singapore, they think that may konting ano sila, parang they still in the top, but in terms of one particular subject, parang nag-slow sila ng konti. And for them, it's alarming. So they have a survey and they think na they should invest on social emotional aspect of the children. So each country has its own way to do it. In the Philippines, it was focused now on, sabi nga nung first video na there were too many competencies. There were too many sets of activities to be done and a very limited time. So friends, today, okay, here. So this is a PISA. PISA is taken by 3 sets of students. Junior high school, these are 15-year-old and 3 months. At meron ding pang 16 years old and 2 months. So again, PISA stands for Program for International Students Assessment. So in reading, this was based on 2018. So PISA is taken every after 3 years. So 2018, in terms of reading, we are in the bottom. Tapos, si math naman, parang somewhere din tayo. So, after 3 years, same po ba? Now, these were the findings based on, so gumawa ng factorial analysis ang Department of Education together with some researchers. And we found out that these were the things that they found out. Females perform better than males, and the difference is always 27 points. So again, let's go back to the score. If the score is, the average score is, public school is mga 328, the girls would always have plus 27. So girls perform better than the boys. Secondly, PISA is taken by private and public schools. So random po siya. For example, in Cebu, I know two schools, one in Mandaue City, it's a private school. Siya po yung napili to take the PISA. Well, there's another one in Lapu-Lapu City. Ito po yung malapit sa airport. There's one school there that will be taking the PISA this 2025. And yun to malalaman natin, based on results, private schools have better performance than public schools. See the difference? Ang laki. From 390, while public school, 328. So around more than 60 points. Here, does your region belong to this? NCR, Region 7, Region 11. If your regions belong to this, that means your performance is better than the others. Pag wala dito, performance is low. So, which means again, PISA is not just a matter of reading comprehension, but affected po to yung socioeconomic status, access to technology, digital divide, and of course, budget and education. And finally, if you live in the urban area, your score could have an average of 355 points, while for those in the rural, 313 points yung score nila. So, kaya I agree with what former DepEd Secretary Sara Duterte said, parang uncomfortable truth. This is the truth. Pero what can we do about this? So complex ang PISA. But the bottom line today is we will be knowing how does a PISA test look like, and we'll see how can AI be helpful in making those type of tests. Example. Okay, now on the screen, this is a sample PISA reading comprehension test. Here, Lake Chad. Figure 1 shows changing levels of Lake Chad in Saharan North Africa. Lake Chad disappeared completely in about 20,000 BC during the last ice age. In about 11,000 BC, it reappeared. Today, its level is about the same as it was in AD 1000. And you have here a figure of Pisa with a graph. Tapos, in the graph, meron pa rin another picture or figure that would show what was it in the present day and 4000 BC. Then, on the right, you can see the question. What is the depth of Lake Chad today? How will you answer this? This is a reading comprehension test. So therefore, sabi sa question, about 2 meters. Pero how did we know about 2 meters? So which means, yung depth niya, babasahin sa figure and you do some calculation. Therefore, the reading comprehension test of a PISA test is not just words, but it would always include nonlinear text. Tawag dito multimodal. My pictures, my graph. If you can understand the graph using the English language, that would means you have a high reading comprehension. Now, question to all language teachers here. May I have a volunteer? Have you tried making this type of test? Or nung estudyante ka pa in a reading class, in an English class, did you have this type of periodical test na merong graph and there's a question that you ask? Can I ask somebody please? Can you please share? Okay, wala po, according to Dante. So, which means again, part of the testing success is your being accustomed to the type of test type. If you're not familiar with this type of test type, there are more chances for you to get a failing score kasi nga hindi ka nasanay. So, ito yung gagawin natin ngayon. Like, how do we do this? So our students will be prepared for PISA. Secondly, reading comprehension naman. Look at the question. In about which year does the graph in figure 1 start? Tingnan nyo, wala siyang choices. So this is an open-ended short response question in about 11,000 BC. So, you have to read. Wala po tayong national standardized test na walang open-ended. Almost all of our tests, let's say NCAI, NAT, NEET, and CEE, for those who know it, all of them were in ABCD multiple choice. Well, in this PISA test, it's wala po siyang choice. So therefore, you have to write. But again, this is computer-based. Well, the Philippines chose computer-based over the pen and paper. Now, ito yung pinaka-interesting, the next question. Here. Why has the author chosen to start the graph with this point? Can you imagine? PISA is asking you why. Why has the author chosen to start the paragraph at this point? Bakit kailangan niya mag-start at this point? So, which means again, why? Therefore, you have to justify your answer. And that makes PISA very interesting, very challenging, but we need to prepare about this. Kasi nagtanong na siya ng why. And the text is, oh nga, bakit siya nag-start ng ganon? Sa tingin niyo, why? Bakit kaya? Anong answer? You have to think. And that thinking, can you imagine our grade 10 students answering this? Ano kaya ang score nila? Parang kung ako nito, parang ang hirap pala ng test na to. Secondly, so now, after the figure I showed you earlier was 2018. So after 3 years, 2022, sumali ulit ang Philippines. And look at reading. From 340 ng 2018, nag-improve tayo ng 7 points. So we had 347 average. Now look at mathematics, nag-improve din from 353 to 355. And sa science, hindi tayo nag-improve sa science. Which means again, pero is the improvement of reading and math very significant? Maybe medyo sa reading, 7 points, but look at math, 2 points lang siya. So that means after 3 years, parang wala masyado tayong nagawa for the PISA test. Next naman. Okay. What about for the reading? Now, may level 5 question. Level 5 question in PISA means that if you can answer a level 5 question, you can identify the main idea, you can find information, and you can find the purpose and the meaning of the text. Unfortunately, only 7% of the Filipinos who took the PISA can identify the meaning of the paragraph. So, can you imagine how low, how bad the performance is? So, kawawa talaga ang Filipino learners that took the piece. Or maybe, again, this is done in random sampling. So, the answers of the students would represent the entire archipelago. So, kawawa po, di ba? Okay, now next. Gender differences, still the same. The girls always perform better than the boys. And ganun pa rin all throughout. There's another one. So part of the PISA test is they ask information about the budget. According to the findings, ano bang country ang pinakamataas na budget? Singapore, Chinese Taipei, Hong Kong, Macau, Japan, South Korea. Tingnan niyo natin yung graph. Si Philippines, dito tayo. So which means again, according to this study, si Brunei, they spent more than 200,000 pesos, dollars. While tayo sa Philippines, nasa less than 20 to $20,000 lang. So which means again, ang laki ng difference. So which means again, the higher investment you give to education financially, the more chances for your students to have better reading comprehension. Natural talaga, 'di ba? So pag maraming teachers sa classroom, more chances to have, let's say, maraming teachers at school, there could be lesser number of students per classroom. And according to research, the ideal number of students in one class is 25 to 30. More than 30 could always tire the teachers, especially if you're in the writing class, mahirap na pong mag-check sa mga information na yon. Okay, and now, Singapore. Bakit number 1 ang Singapore all the time? Now, sabi sa research, they have a very strong focus on the core subjects. Core subjects nila ay math, reading, and science, which is, of course, which are part of the PISA. Number 2, critical thinking. Focus po siya sa critical thinking and problem solving. And although sometimes people would say too many testing in Singapore, but according to the study, they get used to it. And Singapore has so many national tests, standardized tests. So siguro dahil nasanay na sila sa mga maraming testing, taking the PISA is something not unfamiliar to them. And finally, meron po tayong data-driven learning because the Ministry of Education in Singapore always put emphasis on curriculum development and teaching practices. They always check what's our PISA score. And if the PISA score is low at that time, how can we improve? So Kaya ang PISA ay hindi lang po pagbabasa, hindi lang po siya reading comprehension. It's really a complex situation. Okay, now, parental involvement. May research din sila. They ask how much time, si principal tinanong, how much time do parents attend PTA meeting? They have consultation with their students and parents. In this study, in 2022, 63% of Filipino students, they said they discussed their progress sa kanilang parents. And study shows that if students discuss their academic progress or school progress to their parents, more chances now to have better PISA score. So parang ang implication nito, PISA is mas tataas ang PISA score natin if we have better budget, if we have more dedicated parents to follow up on their children's progress. Okay, next. Ito yung example natin ngayon. Reading comprehension. Anong framework ng reading comprehension nila? First, just like what I showed you earlier, may test. I'll show you a sample PISA test. Ito yung reading comprehension. It would use texts from social sciences. It would use texts from sciences, social sciences, and humanities. Ganun po yun. Now, meron bang poetry? Wala masyadong poetry. I haven't seen sample pa. So, ang focus ng PISA ay integration of science in reading, integration of social sciences in reading. And they would interpret, they would reflect, and they will evaluate. So, wala masyadong who and what ang PISA. Karamihan dito, why and how, and short responses. Okay, here. Let me show you an example of a PISA test. Okay, we have. Okay, I'm sharing the screen now. Okay, can you please tell me what do you see on the screen? Do you see PISA test? Everybody, can you have a thumbs up, please? Okay, good. Sige. PISA test. So, these are examples of PISA tests conducted in 2018, 2019. Now, take a look at it. My English, my French. So, which means again, in the PISA, the country has a choice. What test, what is the language of your assessment or test? Would you want English? Would you want French? Would you want Chinese? In the Philippines, we opted for English. Sige, let's try, let's say, Chicken Forum. Click on Chicken Forum, and this is now the PISA test. So take note that the PISA test is given on computer-based. It will have the command next. Eto po siya. So, isang problema nito, are our students accustomed to computer-based test? Baka naman first time nilang mag-take ng test in a computer-based, which can be true. So here, Chicken Forum, introduction. Read the introduction, then click on the next arrow. Context. You are visiting your relatives who recently moved to a farm to raise chickens. You ask your aunt, how do you learn how to raise chickens? She says, we talk a lot of people who raise chickens. And there are lots of resources on the internet. For example, there's a chicken health forum that I like to visit. It was very helpful to me recently when one of my hens hurt her leg. I'll show you the conversation I had. Context pa lang yun. Click on the next arrow to read the forum. So forum. Ano ang forum? Ito po siya. Okay, let's see my internet connection. Okay, so I'll give it a try. Or perhaps to those some of you, baka pwedeng tingnan nyo rin tong, I'll show you the website. Just simply type PISA OECD. May I know what do you see on the screen? Parang nagsisircle-circle po ba?
Yes, Doc. Parang hindi pa siya nag-load fully.
Okay, so loading pa siya, but I'll do it again. Click on next. Or I'll try another one. Okay, so we have mahina yung loading niya. Okay, so we have Pisa. I'll go back here. Galapagos Islands. So Galapagos Island. May I know if what do you see on the screen? Galapagos Island po ba, Doc Rhea? Wala.
Yeah.
Galapagos Island. So this is Galapagos Island. You are taking an online course website that focuses on informational websites. Part of the work in the course is to review the websites of other students and provide feedback based on the content and structures of your pages. Your current assignment is to review a website created by some classmates, Alejandro and Cristina. They are from Ecuador and have worked in a website about Galapagos Islands. They have a written message to you on the website. To the reviewers, for our project, we decided to design a website for a new organization, the Galapagos Conservation Society. The members of the society are scientists and citizens of Ecuador who are worried about the future of the Galapagos ecosystem. We have not finished all our pages, but we appreciate your review and any feedback you can give upon us in the pages we have created so far. We would like you to answer some questions to make sure that the pages have enough content. You decide to review. So here, in this particular test, may task ka. See, the one taking the test, parang may gagawin ka. So, task-based ang PISA. You have a task to do. Click on the next. Oops. Okay, here. Medyo naglo-loading talaga, no? Okay, so maybe it's the PISA website. So, anyway, I have a backup plan for that. Okay, so the backup is yung PowerPoint. Okay, I'll show you the PowerPoint. Ito yung sample. Cow's milk. So, common siya. All tests on PISA for reading comprehension give you a context. In some places like the United States, drinking cow's milk is common. Imagine their three students, Anna, Christopher, and Sam, are at the coffee shop in the United States. The owner recently placed a sign in the window stated, after April 5th, we'll no longer serve cow's milk here. Instead, we will offer a milk substitute made from soy. Anna, Christopher, and Sam are curious why are the coffee shop would stop serving cow's milk. So Anna does an internet search on her smartphone for cow's milk. Look for the result and discuss it. Again, it has similar context. Ito naman, it's may task. The problem here is this shop is no longer serving cow's milk. Soya na lang. Then, bakit kaya? In the next slide, okay, here, this is my screenshot na. So, the students would read this on the right, farm to market dairy. The nutritional value of milk, countless benefits. Farm to market dairy milk products contain key nutrients, calcium, protein, vitamin D, vitamin B1, riboflavin, and potassium. These vitamins and minerals make farm to market milks important. Babasahin niya lahat yan. Tapos, on the left, refer to the farm to market dairy on the right. Click on the choice to answer the correct question. According to IDFA, with which statement do leading health professionals and organizations agree? So in this test, you have to read the comments of number 1. Anong sabi nito? Leading health professionals and organizations. So you read. After you read, consuming milk and milk products lead to obesity. Milk is a good choice of... So, anong masasabi mo sa ganitong test? Let's ask Charlene and Lorena. Madali ba to? Nasanay ba ang student sa ganito? Charlene or Lorena? Charlene, can you please... Or Lorena muna. Sige, go Lorena.
Hindi po. Kasi mostly ng student at saka in the Philippines kasi 'di ba, parang hindi practice yung mag-read. So, and most sometimes din yung impatient ng student, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Parang hindi natin pa-practice yung, patience nila into reading. So, minsan ini-scan lang. So,
Oo.
kaya that's why, yeah, hindi yung nawawala yung comprehension level because of that.
Oo. Totoo po 'yan. Tapos may ABCD naman, 'di ba? So,
Yes.
click na 'yan. So, kaya ito lang medyo mahirap siya kasi you really have to understand which of these ideas they agreed or not. And most of all, the topic is about milk. Hindi lang siya ordinary milk. The benefits of milk. Highly scientific po siya. This is an application of biology. Biology plus food science is to reading comprehension. And unfortunately, hindi po tayo sanay sa ganitong klaseng test in an English class. Di po ba? Secondly, now next, here, read the information text below. Then click on the next bottom. Anna, related pa rin. Anna, Christopher, and Sam are looking about the decision of the coffee shop owner to stop selling cow's milk. Sam says, maybe cow's milk is becoming too expensive. Christopher is looking at his smartphone. Maybe, but I did a web search on cow's milk too. I'm going to text you on the link to a more recent article that may explain. Anna and Sam opened the link Christopher sent and read the article. Just say no to cow's milk. Click on the next arrow. So, eto na. Tingnan yung gagawin nila. So, you read health articles today. Just say no to milk by health reporter Dr. R. Garza. Babasahin nila according to the United States, according to the British Journal, according to the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. So, three organizations have a debate about milk. So anong gagawin ng mga bata? It says here, refer to just say no to cow's milk on the right. Click on the choices in the table to answer the question. Could the following statements represent Dr. Garza's purpose? So read Dr. Garza. Could this statement represent the purpose of the article? To question the benefit of dairy products on general health. Yes or no? So this is reading comprehension plus getting the whole point. Ano ang purpose ng article na to? So wala dito ang what do you think is the message of the story? What do you think is the point? Hindi na ganyan. Parang ano ba to? Anong mga reading between the lines? Ano bang gusto niyang ipahiwatig? But in this particular exercise, hindi klaro. You have to read and then implication. Dito bumabagsak ang mga students. According to the PISA result, only 7% of the Filipinos can pass this type of test. Hindi niya kaya. 93% of the Filipinos bumagsak po sa ganitong test. Kasi nga, maybe just like what Lorena said, we're not used to this type of test. Number two, most of our tests, according to research, are in memory-based. Memory-based, ABCD, wala masyadong critical thinking. That's based on facts. Now, eto na yung pinaka not easy. Refer to say no to cow's milk on the right. Type your answer in the question. Dr. Garza presents a few research results which may surprise the readers. State one of them. Anong masasabi mo sa ganito? Sige nga. Let's ask Charlene. Charlene, is it okay to ask you?
Yes po.
Anong masasabi mo sa ganitong test? Madali ba? Mahirap? Anong kailangan?
Ano po, they really have to understand po na marunong nung mga 'di ba po sa Bloom's taxonomy, nandun po dapat sa higher order thinking skills, hindi lang po basta remembering and understanding. Kasi
Mm.
kapag nandun lang po, yung mga ganitong klase ng tanong, hindi po talaga nila masasagot. So they have to ano po, get not just only getting the details sa uluhin, pero anong connection from one idea to another para makapag-infer po sila ng maayos, ma-conclude and masagot po eventually yung sagot.
Mm.
So for me po, ngayon nga lang po ako nakakita ng ganitong klase.
ng pagtatanong po for comprehension kasi hindi po ganito yung nakagisnan ko as a student and hindi rin po ganito yung way kung paano natin siya tinuturo sa loob ng classroom po.
Yeah, totoo, Charlene, no? Parang when we were students, wala tayong ganitong question. Or baka meron, pero it was done orally by the teacher. Kasi nga, if you have 40 students and you ask them one by one, it's a bit impractical to let them write. After all, you cannot give them immediately the responses. So, maraming limitations. So, and one of that is why did we not succeed in PISA? It's because we're not used to this type of testing. Secondly, it's not practical for teachers in the classroom with 40 to 50 students to have this type of test. And secondly, tingnan mo naman ang layout, di ba? Meron pang pictures, may ganito pa. If you have this in your class, baka magastos ang printing. So, may mga practical considerations, pero sana hindi siya excuse, pero naging excuse na po siya. Iyan po ang reading comprehension. So, now, so ito po yung isa naman, fact or opinion. Below are two text types about milk. Are the statements fact or opinion? Babasahin niya. Recent studies on health benefits of risk are surprising. Fact or opinion? Studies have shown that drinking milk has detrimental health effects. Fact or opinion? Babasahin na naman, fact or opinion. So it's a para siyang higher order thinking skill alternative to true or false. Next, the authors of the text disagree on the role of milk in regular diet. What is the main point of the authors disagree? Babasahin ulit. And then, milk effects on health and milk's role in human diets. So again, it's another high-order critical thinking skills na only 7% of the Filipinos passed. Reason is, we're not used to. Another reason is, maybe wala masyadong ganitong klaseng tests in our English classes. By the way, UPCAT looks like this. Si UPCAT, ang babasahin mong text ay about science, about humanities, about pag-asa, weather, and then my graph, and then reading comprehension. So kaya nga siguro, out of 133,000 students who applied for UPCAT, only 13% made it because para din siyang PISA na ito kasi yung mga global standards and in their classroom assessment, baka hindi masyadong nakikita in most schools. So here, last one. Tingnan mo yung on the left. Refer to both sources on the right by clicking on each of the tabs. Click on the choice and then type an explanation to the answer. Ita-type mo. Anna, Christopher, and Sam are talking about two texts. Christopher, no matter what the coffee shop owner does, I'm going to keep drinking milk every day. It's really good for you. Sabi naman ni Anna, not me. I'm going to drink a lot less milk from now on if it's not good for you. Sabi naman ni Sam, I don't know. I think we need to know more before to make a conclusion. With whom do you agree? Christopher, Anna, and Sam. Christopher said, I will drink milk. Anna said, no, I'm not going to drink milk anymore because sabi nga sa research, okay daw ang soya. Si Sam naman, hindi ko alam kasi nga kulang pa ako ng data. So now, as a student, you take the PISA, you have to tell us to whom do you agree? Christopher, Anna, and Sam, and then why? And then refer to information from at least one of the texts. Babalikan mo yung text ng Just Say No to Cow. So, multi-modal po siya. Two things. So, it's like, this is really the 21st century skills. Totoo, di ba? Parang right now, you are watching Zoom, you are listening to me, you are reading the text, while you are at home doing something else. So parang, ito na itong, kaya nga siguro, karamihan sa atin, kasi parang, you need to pay attention. But most of all, if you look back, question this one, pareho lang, they have the same text. So which means again, you have to store information from what you read earlier because the text that you read today or this time has an impact to the succeeding text. Kaya for reading comprehension, sabi nga sa news, each student is given 2 hours for reading, another 2 hours for math, another 2 hours for science. Kasi nga, you have to read a lot. Okay, yan po yung sa reading comprehension. Now, there were research conducted. Sabi ng iba, strength. Oh, it's international. Pero sabi naman ng ibang tao, cultural component eh. O, di ba? Kasi nga parang milk, paano yun? Hindi naman tayo nagsusoya. So, but still, sabi naman ni PISA, the question is not focusing on the culture, but it's focusing on you read the information and do you agree or disagree? Which would say, tama rin naman si PISA. Now, next, anong mga predictors? What made one succeed in PISA? These are the factors. Number one, socioeconomic status of the family. The higher income have better scores than those who belong to the low. Consistently positively associated with math achievement. And ito yung pinaka-interesting, student absenteeism. So PISA asked for the punctuality of each student and they made a correlation. And based on research, students who are really absent in the class, higher absenteeism, lower score. Punctuality means achievement according to PISA and shortage of teachers. The more when there's a shortage of teacher, there's a low performance in PISA and the staff as well. So, klaro naman to talaga eh. Alam naman natin to. So, these are the real things in the classrooms. Now, let's go back naman. Science texts. Science texts would test phenomenon in science and then they would evaluate and then they would relate the phenomenon to the paper. Paano po ba to? Ganito siya. So, Galapagos Island. This is a science text. Si Galapagos Island, again, ito yung sinabi ko kanina, na may isa, the context is si Alejandro and Christina, they're working on a website. And in this website, hindi pa siya tapos. And they wanted to know, what can you say about the website Galapagos Island? So here, bird migration. Bird migration is a seasonal large-scale movement of birds to and from breeding grounds. Every year, volunteers count migrating birds at specific locations. Scientists capture some of the birds and tag their legs with a combination of colored rings and flags. The scientists use sightings of tagged birds together with volunteer counts to determine the migratory routes of the birds. Question. Most migratory birds gather in one area and then migrate in large groups rather than individually. This behavior is a result of evolution. Which of the following is the best scientific explanation for the evolution of this behavior of most migratory birds? Okay, now, sabi natin sa undergraduate natin when we were in college na dapat the questions should be shorter. Di ba? Yun ang sinasabi natin. Shorter questions lang daw para students will not be tired. Pero look at PISA. Ang haba ng context. And look at the choices. It's in sentences. So which means the one that we learned before, the choices should be shorter kasi nga the STEM, yung mga STEM na sinasabi natin, hindi na siya nangyayari sa PISA because PISA wants to develop students who can really comprehend not just in words or phrases but in sentential context. So, babasahin na naman to. Next, bird migration na naman. Identify a factor that might make the volunteers' count of migrating birds inaccurate and explain how the factor will affect the account. So, ano kaya? So, ano sa tingin nyo? Bakit kaya? Can we ask somebody? So, pwede po bang tanungin si Charlene or sino po bang pwedeng Maruha? Is it okay to ask you, Maruha? Or si Diane? Diane, is it okay to ask you? Or Maruha? Okay. So, now, ito yung example na bakit kaya? Bakit? So, which means they read the text and they give their own opinion and it will make the test correct. So, yan po. Migration, another migration. Ito yung PISA test. Look at the route. Southward migratory routes during autumn. Northward migratory routes during spring. And then you will ask, which statements about the golden plover migration do the map support? You read the text, you understand the map, and then there's a question. Kakaiba. Okay. Now, meron din creative thinking. How do we measure creative thinking? Meron sa PISA. For PISA, ito yung creative thinking niya. Written expression, it will check if can you write properly. Visual expression, can you understand the graph? Can you make some little drawing? Scientific problem. So, ito yung isang creative thinking. School fair, science fair poster. Your school is having a science fair during which participants will present their science projects. This year, the theme of the science fair is Life in Deep Space. Over the next few questions, you will be asked to use your creativity to design and improve a poster encouraging people to attend the science fair. Question: anong masasabi mo sa ganitong type of test? Ma'am, ikaw yung tatanungin ko. Baka sa Charlene, baka okay yung internet connection mo. What can you say about this test, Charlene?
Sa totoo lang po, hindi ko po alam kung paano ako magre-react kasi this is something new po talaga. So parang kahit po ako, kung ako mismo po yung magsasagot nito and first time po tapos computer-based, parang initial reaction ko po, ma-overwhelm po ako.
Mm-mm.
Hindi ko po siya alam kung paano ko sisimulan, ano bang una kong i-consider, saan ba ako unang titingin. So parang dito ko po na-realize na paano po masasagot ito ng bata kung mismong teacher po ay hindi rin po familiar sa klase ng exam na binibigay ng PISA. So very helpful po yung discussion natin ngayon kasi ito po pala dapat yung ginagawa sa loob ng classroom para prepared din po yung mga students paano magsagot.
Opo, tama, no? Parang, gagawa ako ng poster. So, tapos, creative na ako. So, I'll show you the test in PISA sa creativity. So, sana mag-work na yung, okay, so ito po siya. Creative thinking. Okay, so we have, I'll go back to PISA and then, okay ha. So, ganito lang siya. I mean, what can you see on the screen po?
It's the browser ulit, Doc.
Ito siya. Pakita ko na yung creative thinking. So,
Yan,
ito
yan.
ang creative thinking. So, okay. Finally, so I will have simply type this PISA test 2022. Okay. Sample test. Okay. So, when you see the sample test, okay, punta tayo sa creative thinking, science fair. Saan na mag-okay ang PISA website? Yan. Ito yung pinakita ko kanina. So, and then, anong gagawin nyo? Yes. Here, everybody on the board. Use the drawing tools on the right and the text below to answer the question. Create an original poster for the science fair that represents the theme Life in Deep Space. Your poster should be original in a sense that not many people would think to represent the theme in this way. Describe your design in one sentence below. We recommend you spend no longer than 7 minutes on this question. So, may tool siya. So, like for example, gagawin ko, ano kayang pwedeng gawin? So, ito, Sam. Ito ay, gagawa ko ng circle. Okay. Ito yung kulay. Oops. Okay. So, gagawa ko ng earth. Okay, okay, may earth na. Okay, then poster, ano pa yung gagawin ko? So may arrow. Okay, dyan. So, ito po yung totoong PISA. Ma-access na natin siya ngayon. So, and you are 7 minutes and then you will write, what can you say? This poster aims to, okay, describe daw the poster. The poster represents anong klaseng life? The possibility of living in the deep space. Anong sabi niya? You would be, your poster should be original. Describe your design in one sentence. So, artistic skill. You have to draw, pero scientific siya. Yun ang definition ni PISA. Your creativity is also bounded by scientific. Kasi nga, you need to know the tools. Question, naituro ba to sa mga students natin? This is like paint. Dapat, so, lalagay mo to flower. Additional steps. I'd like to put a flower. Okay. Pupunta ako nito, and then, I'll use, feeling ko moon to. Okay, may moon. Aha. So, what if hindi mo alam ang moon? Patay ka. Ito moon to. So, another naman. Ano pa to? Ano kaya to? Oh, this must be the Earth. Ano naman tong red planet? Ano naman tong red? Baka ito ang Mars. So, if mali yung arrangement mo, baka mali na rin yung sagot mo. Kasi nga, creative ka, pero hindi ka naman scientific. And based on the definition ng PISA, your creativity must have also scientific reasoning. Kakaiba, di ba? Okay. So, Ma'am Lorena, anong masasabi mo sa ganitong test? Pag ikaw kaya magti-take sa test na to, Ma'am Lorena, ano kayang feeling mo?
Actually, mahirapan ako. Unang-una, hindi kasi ako mahilig mag-drawing. Second,
Patay.
yes, patay na ako dun pa lang sa pag-isip ko ng paano ko siya ido-draw. Tapos second, syempre, dapat kasi talaga magre-review ka rin kung ano yung process ng tamang, for example, yung sabi mo, dapat may scientific knowledge ka rin. Eh, syempre, sa tagal mo nang di nag-aaral, no? Di mo na alam ano yung pagkakasunod ng ano niya, no? Di ba? So, I think, yon mahirapan talaga ako.
Totoo po yun. So, at ang creative thinking sa definition ng PISA ay application of science, application of written expression, and application of understanding of the visual images. So, in the end, you'll have this. Yan po yung type of test, and there's a feedback. Okay. Now, let's try another one. Okay. Ito yung sample naman ng PISA. Sige, so after the science poster, punta tayo sa math. Okay, math tayo. Sa math naman ay bibili ng kotse. Okay, car purchase. So, here. So, car purchase. On the board, everybody. Read the introduction and click on the next arrow. Tanya is planning to purchase a new car. She wants to know how much will it cost to purchase a car and drive it first year. She finds the cost estimator online and makes the following estimates. She will ride an estimated distance of 20 kilometers this year. The average cost. Ika-calculate mo. Ano kayang sagot? So, therefore, click on next. Tanong na naman. Refer to the car purchase. Use the cost estimator. Math teachers, anong masasabi nyo dito? Alin kayang kotse ang bibilhin niya? Si car A, si car B, si car C? Si car A, ang price niya ay 8,000. Si car B, 8,007. Si car C, 9,000. Si car D, 10,000. Pero si fuel consumption naman, grabe si car A. Si car D mahal, 10,000. Pero the fuel consumption is 14. Si car C, ganito. So therefore, if you calculate the maintenance at the price, ano ang cheapest? Can you imagine that? Parang bibili ka ng kotse, tapos i-analyze mo lahat. And this is the type of test in mathematics. Mahirap siya. Kasi nga, you are given a real life situation, and then you have 4 choices, and then you try to compare. Tapos, meron naman siyang calculator. Okay, make sure the value is a cost calculator. Mahirap. Math teachers, may I ask for your comment? Anong masasabi mo niyo dito? Eileen, is it okay to ask your opinion, Ma'am Eileen? Ma'am Eileen Valdez, anong masasabi mo dito, Ma'am Eileen? Sa math test na to.
Sir, good morning. Hindi man po ako math teacher, pero siguro I will choose the Cardi.
Okay. Kasi,
Kasi mas lesser, mas madami po akong time magpagasolina, ganun eh. Di po
oo.
ba?
Tapos, ang gagawin nito, Ma'am Eileen, i-compute mo siya. Kasi may
Yes.
calculator dito. Tapos, after you have the calculator, you check on cart A ka ba, cart B?
Yes. Oh.
Okay. Sige. Tapos, after the car B and C, you click on the next. Meron na naman tong tanong. May feedback. So, that's how it works in science, math, and reading. So, our next activity now is I'll be grouping you into 3. Sa group na to, I'll give you sample PISA tests. Okay. So, one group will be having math, yung isa science, yung isa reading comprehension. Okay. So, I will copy here the link. Okay, let me do it. So, ito po yung link on the chat box. Yan po yung makikita natin. So, si group 1, okay, let me share again. Si group 1 will choose Rapa Nui reading. Tapos, after they analyze it, they will make a certain, gagawa sila ng short text using some AI tools. So, i-explain ko lang ha, si reading, they will read Rapa Nui English, they will scan, simply scan and answer. Pagkatapos nun, after they read this one, okay, anong gagawin natin? Hahanap tayo ng isang reading text. Parang very ano talaga si Rapanawi. So, gagawa tayo ng isang short reading text using AI generator or any text. Pagkatapos ng text na yon, let me show the screen. Okay. Here. So, small groups, you're going to design a test. Group 1 is reading comprehension. Group 2 is math. Group 3 is science. Tapos nun, anong klaseng science text ang gagamitin natin? Si science text can be photosynthesis, part of the plants. Tapos, we'll be using any of the AI tools. Pwede si Canva, pwede rin naman basta mag-generate ng text. How long is the text? 200 words lang. 200 to 300 words yung text. Tapos, after you found the text, have 3 multiple choice questions and 1 open-ended question. Again, si PISA ay may question, tapos may text. The text should be 200 words lang, tapos nun, multiple choice na 3 at isang 1 open-ended question. Okay? Let's do it via Canva para makita natin yung layout. So, may text na, so it will look like this. Meron kang text dito, may text ka dito, reading text. The source of your reading text can be any AI. Pwede kang maghanap sa Perplexity, pwede kang maghanap ng any tools, basta 200 words lang siya, maximum. And then, common sa isang PISA na merong picture or illustration, lagay natin. And then, the questions here are only 3 multiple choice. And then, in the next slide, isang open-ended question like this. Klaro po ba ang instruction natin? Can I have a thumbs up, please? Okay. If wala na, I'll be having 3 groups. Tapos sa 3 groups, ideal nito dapat is English is 1 group, math is 1 group, science. Kaya lang, sa PISA kasi interdisciplinary na. So, hindi na kailangan yun. So, we have 3 breakout rooms. Okay, I'm making the 3 breakout rooms now. Okay, so room 1 will be reading comprehension using science text. Okay, si room 2 will be having science test. Okay, si room 3, math test naman siya. Okay, using a context. So may mga context po yung math. And kanina, bumili ng kotse. Okay? So now, again, instructions are the following. You go to the PISA website, say reading comprehension, go to the reading comprehension, and check the first one, si Rapanoy. Si math naman, go to the website, check the sample math. Si science, ganun din. Tapos, after you read and scan them, gawa tayo ng sample PISA test. Ang sample na yon ay isang reading text, may babasahing reading article, at 3 multiple choice, at isang open-ended. Klaro po ba? May I have a thumbs up? Anyway, I still go to your rooms. Okay po? Okay, thank you. Now, let's open all the rooms. Okay, so welcome back to the main hall. And what we're going to do now is have sharing of your PISA-like test. And you'll tell us what specific AI tools did you use to generate the text and also the answers of the test. Sige, we'll start with anybody who's ready. Ryan, pwede po ba kayo or sina Lorena? Zenily? May I know who's ready to present their PISA-like test and share to us what specific AI tools did you use in constructing the test? Ryan, pwede po ba? Or
Ine-edit. Inaayos ko pa po, Doc.
okay, sige. Thank you.
Nililipat po. Okay po.
Okay. So can we have another group, please? Si Zenily, pwede po ba kayo? Or sina...
Sir, ka-group ko po si Sir Ryan.
Okay. Sige. Sino po yung pwede na medyo ready na? Okay. Si Diane. Diane? Hello,
Hi,
Diane.
Doc. Good morning.
Salamat sa energy. So,
Yeah.
pwedeng yung grupo nyo, pakita ng PISA-like test nyo, and then tell us more about what specific AI tools did you use to generate the text that help you in creating the test.
Sige po, Doc. Okay, so again, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Doc. And we are the group 3 and presenting to you the sample questionnaire from, it's Ma'am Bibiana, one of my group mates. And we use ChatGPT to have this kind of questionnaire. And it talks about science. Yeah, it's science. So the first question, we had 3 questions. And four questions. The 3 questions are multiple choice. And then the last question is what do you call this one? It's an essay type of question. So
Ano yung
I
reading text
had
nyo?
a screen.
Your reading
Yes,
text
po, Doc.
is which one is your reading text?
Is it the left on your end? Yeah. This
Okay.
one po. A group of students.
A group of students. Okay.
Yes po. That's our reading text. And then the side is the question, the choices. So it talks about photosynthesis in a science. I'm not sure in what specific level, if that's grade as high school level, I'm not sure po. So these are the questions. The first question, then the second question, multiple choice, which talks about the real life application. The upper part is the comprehension part, and then the latter part is the multiple choice. The third one is the reasoning part, multiple choice pa rin po. And then the last one is the open-ended with an explanation po.
Wow, parang it really looks PISA. Tapos paki-click before na question number 4. I really like question number 3. Can you please show question number 3? Yung advice to the farmer, which of the following human activities? Yung pangalawa, next to that po. Ayan. What's the that supports the advice to the farmer? Parang ito yung mga sample ng mga PISA test. Ang galing ng pagkagawa. Like, why, the situation, plus anong scientific results. So, very ready na po kayo sa PISA. Congratulations. And again, what AI tool did you use? ChatGPT? Tama po ba?
Yes po, Doc. ChatGPT.
Wow, thank you. Give some love reaction, please. Okay, wow, ang galing na ChatGPT. Galing yung din, Ma'am Bibiana. Thank you very much. And now, let's have another group. Rai, pwede na po kayo, Rai? Ready na?
Hindi po. Present ko na po.
Mm-mm.
Sino po? Ipapakita ko na po pala.
Pakita mo na sa'yo.
Kahit ako na lang po yung dun po sa presentation and explanation. Thank you po.
Yes, ma'am.
Sino pong mag-share?
Ako po daw.
Si Rai. Okay,
Yes
Rai.
po.
Ayan, good
Ma'am
morning po.
Jenny.
Okay, good morning po to all. So our group used Perplexity AI po in generating the article and of course in helping us generating the situational questions. So as you can see in your right po, we have there the article in itself which we use as the context. So kung makikita niyo po, nandiyan lang po yung discussion and photosynthesis, but the question itself are actually in the situational format. So ang mismong context po is the text and then the students will apply whichever they have learned from that from the three situational multiple questions that we have. So Ryan ba, ano na lang po, next slide po for the other questions. Ayan, thank you po. Ayan, pababa lang po. Ayan. And then dun po sa aming last slide, nandoon po yung aming open-ended question explaining how the energy from sunlight is transformed into chemical energy during photosynthesis and why this transformation is crucial for life on Earth. So doon po sa open-ended question, as you can see, we now focused on more the scientific side and the scientific application po no text. So the questions we created as also checked by the elementary teachers in our group are suited for grade 6 level po. Thank you po.
Oo, no? Very nice yung situation-based na question sa... Can you please go back to question number 2, Sir Ryan? Parang sana ganito yung mga test natin, Ryan, no? Parang grabe ka, higher order thinking skills. May context pa sa lab experiment. Tapos situation. So congratulations po. Congrats, Ryan. Congrats sa teamwork. Okay, thank you. Love reaction, please, to the group on photosynthesis. And we have the last one. Can we have somebody from the group to present po? Thank you, Zen. Is the third group ready? Okay, hello? Or may I ask if okay po ba yung third group?
Si Miss Karen po yung mag-present.
Okay.
Miss Karen?
Yeah, hello? Pwede na po ba? Hello? Okay. Sige, okay lang po pag wala yun. What's important today is we saw two examples of how to make PISA-like tests at the same time applying AI tools. So here, let me have the screen. So ito po yung suggestion ko po in how do we move forward to this. So for example, like now we know how PISA look like and we also understood na kaya pala low performance yung students natin, low performing yung students natin because number one, they're not used to the type of text. Number two, the idea of using computer-based tests is maybe uncommon to most Philippine classrooms kasi nga we all have limited computer. So ito po yung possible resource I can suggest. Maybe for those who are teachers, you can have like conduct training sa mga master teachers dito. Conduct a training in your LAC sessions if you are in the Department of Education. Why not make your PISA-like, your periodical test PISA-like na siya? And if you think it's difficult, you can use like what they did. They use Perplexity, they use AI, they use ChatGPT to generate the text and also the answer key. Kasi nga, totoo din naman, mahirap gumawa ng mga tests that are situation-based. And if you have so many load, so you can use AI to generate it as long as we always check naman siguro if the questions are also okay or not. And then you can assess the students. Did it improve their academic performance? what is evident in the PISA like test, it's integration of science and reading, math, science, and reading. So it's always good to have this type of test that will integrate content courses to the language courses. Kasi in this way, makikita yung comprehension and application of the content. And then, if you think mahirap mag-generate ng mga pictures, another set of AI can do it for you. Just like the other group, they use Canva in generating the picture. At least kung minsan mga wala parang copyright yun. And of course, the format of the test. So thank you very much. And are there any questions about transforming our test to PISA-like test at the same time using AI to generate that? Meron po ba tayong mga katanungan for today? Doc Rhea, nag-enjoy ako sa breakout sessions.
Oo nga, Doc. Oh,
Very
impressive.
interactive. Very interactive
impressive.
sila.
Oo. May questions po ba tayo? Questions for Doc Au? Parang excited na sila, Doc Au, i-try for themselves.
Oo. Tsaka, yung grupo kasi natin, Ma'am Rhea, hindi sila ordinary teachers eh. Parang they know technology. May skills na kasi sila on when to use and when not to use. So parang very lucky to have this group plus very interactive. So congratulations. Sana pagpatuloy natin to.
And share with our colleagues when we go back to our schools para we can have more teachers like you here in the training. Thank you very much, Doc Au.
You're welcome. Okay.
If I have no more questions for Doc Au, we'll let him go na. And
I let him go. Okay, sige.
Sunday ngayon, Doc Au. Thank you.
Oo nga eh. Thank you ha. I really enjoyed. Thank you very much. Okay.
Doc Au, pa-share na lang po ulit ng
Yes,
presentation.
I'll send it to you now. Okay, sige.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Hi, Doc Au. Thank you, dear teachers. I hope we learned so much again from Doc Au this morning. And very impressive po talaga yung mga workshop outputs natin. So, pwede na pong yan yung assessment natin for session 4. So, members of the group can download their presentations and ilagay lang po natin doon sa ating na-download na assessment tool, save it as PDF, and then yun na po yung ilalagay natin sa ating submission bin. So, the submission bin is up on our FB group page. Tatanggap po siya ng submissions hanggang mamaya pong 5 p.m. Copy-paste nyo lang po doon using your name as the file name. Submit lang po natin sa bin. Then, of course, also our attendance for session 4 and the evaluation tool on our FB group page as well. So, kindly accomplish all of it po so that we can send you your certificates for this program. Thank you very much, dear teachers, and thank you for joining us, especially those who have been with us for the 3 previous programs, beginning with our SPED program, last week's management program, and this week's AI program. So maraming salamat po. I hope that all of our programs have been very helpful for you. And spread the word po, share with your co-teachers that iLead offers all of these programs for our teachers, and follow us on our Facebook page for upcoming programs. Maraming salamat po and thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again in our future activities, dear teachers. Salamat po.